truth is, I'll never know all there is to know about you, just as you will never know all there is to know about me. Humans are by nature too complicated to be understood fully. So, we can choose either to approach our fellow human beings with suspicion or to approach them with an open mind, a dash of optimism and a great deal of candor. You cannot look up at the night sky on the planet Earth and not wonder what it's like to be up there amongst the stars. And I always look up at the moon and see it is the single most romantic place within the cosmos. Some people are cowards. I think by and large a third of people are villains, a third are cowards, and a third are heroes. Now, a villain and a coward can choose to be a hero, but they've got to make that choice. As long as you as an individual can convince yourself that in order to move forward as best you can you have to be optimistic, you can be described as one of the faithful, one of those people who can say, well, look, something's going to happen. Let's just keep trying. Let's not give up. But I also think all of the great stories in literature deal with loneliness. Sometimes it's by way of heartbreak, sometimes it's by way of injustice, sometimes it's by way of fate. There's an infinite number of ways to examine it. My kid could get a bad X-ray and I could get a call from the doctor saying I have something growing in my bum, and that would change my perspective on everything instantaneously, on what is and what is not important. There isn't any great mystery about me. What I do is glamorous and has an awful lot of white-hot attention placed on it. But the actual work requires the same discipline and passion as any job you love doing, be it as a very good pipe fitter or a highly creative artist. The nature of the movies is different than it was 5 years ago, and they're all driven by the possibilities of CGI, which means you can make anything happen on screen that you can possibly desire. Growing up in Northern California has had a big influence on my love and respect for the outdoors. When I lived in Oakland, we would think nothing of driving to Half Moon Bay and Santa Cruz one day and then driving to the foothills of the Sierras the next day. If there are 9 guys auditioning and they're all gorgeous, I have an advantage, because gorgeous guys are a dime a dozen. But if they need someone else, like a goofy guy with bad hair who is just okay, then that's me. And finally, the other 2% who audition are geniuses that I could never touch. I do not want to admit to the world that I can be a bad person. It is just that I don't want anyone to have false expectations. Movie making is a harsh, volatile business, and unless you can be ruthless, too, there's a good chance that you are going to disappear off the scene pretty quickly. I think 80% of the population are really great, caring people who will help you and tell you the truth. That's just the way it is. And I think 20% of the population are crooks and liars. It's just a fact. My TV show had been cancelled. Nothing else had gone anywhere. Some alliances I had made petered out and nothing came of them, and I was looking at a long year ahead of me in which there was no work on the horizon. The phone wasn't ringing. I had 2 kids. One of them a brand new baby, and I didn't know if I would be able to keep my house. By and large, the making of motion pictures is all about, let's ratchet it up. And I always think, we don't need to ratchet this up. If you do, don't call it Captain Phillips or the Marsk, Alabama. Call it something else, and then you have carte blanche to do anything, down to sea serpents and aliens. Acting still rings my bell as much as it did in high school. Plus, I can now indulge my interests as a producer as well. My work is more fun than fun, but, best of all, it's still very scary. You are always walking some kind of high wire. Acting still rings my bell as much as it did in high school. Plus, I can now indulge my interests as a producer as well. My work is more fun than fun, but, best of all, it's still very scary. You are always walking some kind of high wire.